Okay, here we are, man. Here we are. After 10 years, actually 9 years, Game of Thrones, one of the most iconic and po- uh, quite possibly the most popular TV show, had ended, and we had finally arrived at the final episode of the series. And I'm gonna be honest here. I'm I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. I really don't want to say this. I I really want to love the finale. I really want to love Game of Thrones season 8, but I just find it kind of difficult. Now, yes, I still really like episode 5. Like, I think episode 5 is amazing, and I think episode 4 is really underrated. And yeah, but I can't say that for the last episode. It's just 1 hour and 20 minutes of like nothing. Not much had happened other than that one scene towards the beginning where Jon Snow suddenly stabbed Daenerys and Daenerys just died, and then Drogon came out of nowhere and Drogon was like, "You killed her, but it's okay." So Drogon literally spat fire and melted the Iron Throne and picked up her body and just went off, and that's it. That's all he did. And Jon Snow was like, "Well," and then Grey Worm was like real pissed off about it, but then not really that pissed off for some reason. And after Daenerys died, it was like this time jump, like a couple of weeks later. So I was thinking, wait, Daenerys had died, Cersei had died, Night King had died, Euron's dead. So what? Now Grey Worm is the ultimate villain? No. The rest of the episode doesn't really have a villain. It's more like aftermath episode, you know? Usually in epic movies like Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, like usually after the great battle, it's the aftermath, it's what happened after, and everybody lived happily after. And like 2/3 of episode 6 are basically aftermath. And the climactic scene before the aftermath wasn't even that climactic. I really wish that there would be more action leading up to Daenerys' death, because it's supposed to be the final great death of Game of Thrones. You know what? The final death. It's the final death. Anyway, Grey Worm was holding Tyrion as prisoner, but he wasn't like that pissed off or anything. And then somehow they met up with like other major characters of the show. You know, everyone was there. Yara was there. Edmure Tully was there. What? Uh, kind of wish he was dead, but okay. Yeah. And and they wanted to choose a king because now Daenerys is dead, Cersei's dead. Like, what are we gonna do now? So Tyrion was like, you know what? Bran should be king, and Grey Worm was like he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything about it, and everybody was like, yeah, Bran should be king. Yeah, Bran Stark. Yeah, Bran the Broken. Like, who would name a king Bran the Broken? Like, that's such an insulting name. It's like Tyrion's like secretly insulting Bran, but Bran was like, sure. That's kind of dumb actually, because for the entire season, it was like, oh wait, Jon Snow is the rightful heir to the throne. And in season 7, Bran was like, I can't be any lords or anyone. And then at the end, Bran became king. Bran feels like a really mediocre character. Meanwhile, Arya wanted to just sail west of Westeros, and I think it's a pretty good ending for her, really. I think at the end of the episode, every character is at the place that they want to be, and that's pretty happy, I guess. Uh, So yeah, Jon Snow got sent back to Castle Black and reunited with Tormund, even though there wasn't really a scene where they like hug each other or anything. But there's a scene where Jon Snow reunites with Ghost and they hug each other. I guess that's pretty nice. And the last shot of the entire friggin' series is literally Jon Snow bringing the wildlings back beyond the wall, which is actually kind of cool because it's like a juxtaposition of the first shot of the entire series where three random dudes go beyond the wall. But yeah, still, just pretty underwhelming. Pretty underwhelming. I also kind of like that scene where Tyrion confronted Daenerys at the beginning and he just throws the badge. I kind of like that actually, even though it's not like that climactic. Yeah, and apparently that's it. The last scene for Tyrion was like council and like small council meeting, and it's Tyrion, Bronn, uh, Davos, Brienne, and Sam, and they were arguing if brothels or ships are more important, and that's their last dialogue. And then the series just ended with like a little montage of Arya, Sansa, and Jon and where they are, and it's like, yeah, so yeah, it's a bore. It's a pretty boring episode, pretty underwhelming. Yes, I think it's pretty poetic. I think it's a pretty poignant ending. But it doesn't feel like a climactic episode. It feels kind of hollow, feels kind of empty, and it's I probably won't think about it for how exciting this episode is because this episode is pretty much the opposite of exciting, and I'm just feeling like a strong six. I'm gonna be generous, like a strong 6 out of 10 for the episode. Might be my least favorite of the entire series, even worse than Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken. Yeah, I really want to love, the finale, but I just can't. And I don't hate it either, but it's just I'm just sad. I'm sad. I'm sad about it. Yeah. So yeah, you can expect my full-length Game of Thrones season 8 review tomorrow night. So, there we go.